So it was a new like exercise or a new game that we did. Like I said, I have a spreadsheet with all sixes that I do, but I add to it most days because most days I'm thinking, hey, what are we struggling at? And how do I like manifest or create a drill that will work on that? So this one, in this case, I think that we needed to be under pressure in our side out. So it was a big focus on like pressure side out. So you get three balls you get three serves coming at you. And if you sided out 2 out of 3, you could rotate to the next position. And it's a race. So this team A, serves 3 balls, team B serves 3 balls. Team A serves 3 balls, team B serves 3 balls. So it's a race to get through all the rotations and we're just rotating through, which means like the negative to this is that you can be stuck sometimes in the same rotation. So somebody is front row quite a lot and you have to keep that into account when you go to the next game, like who was front row a little bit more. I don't usually do a lot of things like this because then maybe, my outside hitter 1, number 9 could be front row for 20 minutes. But then I just remember that going to the next game, I put her back row and start her back and things like that. But it's called pressure side out. If you get 2 out of 3, you rotate. And if you get 3 out of 3, you send the other team back 1 rotation. So it really, really like gave a chance to really have an incentive to get that 3 out of 3. But 2 out of 3 is already good because that's like 60+%. I'm really bad at math, but 66%, I think, 66.6%. And that would be a side out rate that would be really good for us. Low 60s is usually the Swiss league, so above that is fine. And I would adjust that to be, if I wanted to do 5, I could do, whatever. I just have to go on what our side out rate is and make it just a little bit harder. And then we have to get that. And that's something that I typically do. So it's just something I came up with, but it's not really rocket science. It's just thinking about where are our weaknesses. How can we put the players under a little bit more pressure and relating that back to statistics so that you're actually doing something that they can achieve, but it is difficult to achieve. So let's say team A, they get 2 out of 3 only. They rotate. They go from rotation 1 to rotation 6 because we're just following truly a rotation here. Sometimes I will go from 1 to 4 and then back to front and stuff like that. Today I went really around a circle. And then they serve. If the other team gets 3 out of 3, they rotate and they send this team A, back into rotation 1. So it's kind of annoying too. And it means at least that you get to have a chance when you're in defense. It's not that you're just doing nothing. You're stopping yourself from like reversing. So you're in that kind of threat state as well. As much as I can, put them in situations where they have to do something and they feel that like that challenge versus threat state. I don't know how much you guys have looked at that, but like we act a lot different when we are like under threat than when we are taking on a challenge. And I so much want to get us to learn that everything is a challenge and just kind of go for it. But to do that, I need to as much as possible. And outside of games, it's difficult to put us into that threat state. So having to be moved backwards, one, is very annoying because it's very hard. And that really forces us to like, okay, shit, I got to serve a good serve. Hey, let's get ready on defense, and putting in that threat state and working to be in that challenge state a little bit more. So that's what this game is. I had a lot of comments on it because there are a lot of little things that we could upgrade. It was the first time we did it. And I have a lot of smart players who are like, but what if we did this and this and this? And they're really good points. So later we can make some adjustments on the drill. But I think it was really, really helpful for us because it just puts us in situations where we are a little bit more frustrated at the end. Like we have to do this or we can't rotate. And that's what's real because that's a game. So.
No, great stuff.
Cool. So most exercises that I have are, of course I try to watch other people's practices. I watch like all the Volleybrains masterclasses to get new practices and things like that and drills. But at the end, like I still have to adapt them to fit to what my team needs. And so I'll always adapt the scoring. I'll always adapt but there's different ideas. Maybe I want to work on setter choices. So I will put a bonus point in some sort of drill that if they get a 1-on-1, then they're going to get an extra bonus point or, whatever we're looking at the moment that we need to really highlight, then I want to work backwards and create an exercise for that.